Good morning. Another fine morning here in Wisconsin. I always do that. I get to turn off the sound. Another fine morning again in Wisconsin here. As always, thanks for joining the show. Thanks for my new subscribers who have joined the show. Always look forward to new viewers. And as always, continue to subscribe if you're new. If you're a subscriber or watching the show live or watching it later, please like the video. Click down there and help me out. Helps me with the search engines and getting views and adding subscribers so I can grow the channel, and I appreciate it. Also, please share these videos. I hope you're finding it informative and in some cases entertaining. I hope yesterday's show was entertaining and you enjoyed my patriotic t-shirt. Today I'm in a more traditional shirt, but got to talk about things that have happened since yesterday. So the special election was held yesterday, and Tom Tiffany won, and congratulations to him. And we'll see if that was a good thing or a bad thing for us. And as part of my show, I'll be watching his first 100 days here, in addition to continuing my effort under the general election to get on the ballot. So of course, looking for support from my viewers and from people around the district in gaining signatures to get on the ballot. And that time is quickly running out. We have to have those signatures and our nomination papers and our declaration of candidacy in on June 1st. So we'll see how all that goes. But it's been an adventure in any event, and I will continue to carry the message and carry the charge. So, and if you watched anything on the special election yesterday, it appears Tiffany got a roughly 110,000 votes. I haven't seen any updates since last night. Zunker got roughly 80,000 votes, and of course, we won't know for a while if I got any votes at all. And hey, that's all right. But I know I got one because I sent my absentee ballot in, so at least one person voted for me, and I voted for myself. And so, in thinking about that, again, I'm still not a fan of Tom Tiffany. We haven't seen him do much but campaign over the last 6 months. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens. And some of those issues that are going to be on top of everybody's minds are things that fly in the face of our freedoms, and whether or not Tom's actually going to do something, because we still have the general election now. So are we going to get more of the same in these first 100 days? He's simply going to be continuing to ask for money. He's going to continue to campaign. He's not going to be doing anything in Washington. And so what good is that till after November? And then they really won't do anything until after the first of the year, when the new members take office. So are we really going to see anything? And that's something we should watch. I mean, we should watch that between now and the primary, and we should watch that between then and November. But the primary is really where you're going to want to make a decision. So that's why it's important to have multiple candidates running in the primary, in the party, so that you can make a choice whether or not you like what you see. I mean, incumbents have the challenge of making sure they continue to represent us while they campaign, and new people who are putting themselves up as candidates have the challenge of demonstrating to the public that choosing them is better than choosing the person that's currently in the office, and for whatever reasons those might be. So, it's important to help candidates get on the ballot for the primary. I mean, that's where we need to do it, and we need more than two. I was very disappointed I wasn't able to make it for the special election in the primary. I would have loved to had more of a dialogue with Jason Church and Tom Tiffany, but that's a struggle with the process. There was no reason I couldn't have been included in that process, but the media and the candidates don't want to have those kinds of dialogues. They want to make sure their message is heard, so it's difficult to get them to engage in a way that potentially challenges their candidacy. So are they going to step out there and do that? No, and you can see that because we didn't have a debate till within 4 or 5 days of the special election. Why is that? I mean, why didn't we have a debate shortly after signatures were in, or shortly after the primary was done? Why we have to wait so long for an official debate that's broadcast live so that people can watch the debate, not something that's video recorded and shown later. I mean, these are important parts of the election process. So hopefully we'll to encourage the media and the groups that hold these debates to do a better job. So some of those topics that we'll be watching Congressman Tiffany on is social tracking, contact tracing, the use of and abuse of cell phone data, Facebook putting out people's location data without their permission, use of drones to spy on citizens right now, hydroxychloroquine availability, and real science behind why the government's so adamantly against it, and whether or not, if your doctor prescribes it, are you going to be able to get it? Because it's basically up to you. I mean, you don't have to listen to the federal government. I mean, if there's data out there saying that hydroxychloroquine could help, well, then why not take it? I mean, if they're not at risk and there's no side effects, I would take it to try to combat the disease if I got it. And for me, being at high risk, I'm going to use everything at my disposal. The relief bill, the relief bill that was currently issued. I mean, is the Senate, is the House going to put together from the Republican side a bill to counter what was currently put out with $3 trillion? And if you watch the link of the day, Tucker Carlson talks about the relief bill and the absolute ludicrousy of the bill, and the amount of the bill and the things that have been put in there by Pelosi and her group. And those are things that we need to make sure get changed. And there are a lot of really negative things that are in that relief bill. And as always, for the last 2 months, I've been saying we need to see flu data tracked next to COVID data, because as far as I'm concerned, they're commingling flu data with COVID-19 data to make it look bad. So we need clear data, and this seems to be the mantra. I mean, we're guided by data and science. Well, being an old programmer, garbage in, garbage out. So if our data is garbage because there's not a clear path as to how that information is being collected and what they're including in there, and they're constantly changing it, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, they can manipulate it then any way they want. But if they broke it out and had a chart showing cases by day of the flu and the cases by day of COVID-19, it's like, we can test for COVID-19, but we can't test for the flu. But COVID-19 is a coronavirus. It's just been a flu. And if you've watched the video I have on my channel, there's an expert that talks about how the coronavirus has been part of flu tracking for many years. So it's not anything new. So why aren't we seeing that we're testing for the flu? People have the flu, that data goes into the flu. People test COVID-19, that goes into COVID-19, and we see that data side by side. So it gives us some measure to say just how serious it is. And that's being neutral. I mean, that's taking an opportunity to gather neutral data and then make a decision. I mean, if you're using poor data or you're manipulating the data, of course you can make it look like fear mongering and everybody's upset and we're making decisions based on improper data. And anybody that is producing that data shouldn't be having anything to do with science. So hopefully we can start to see flu data being tracked next to the COVID-19 data very quickly. And recognize that the COVID-19 data is a flu, so that we can have that conversation as well. So those are the things we're going to be watching Tom Tiffany in the next 100 days to see how he performs and see if he lives up to his promises. But as I say, I think he's going to be more concerned about getting more money and getting elected here again in November than we're going to see anything other than just promises from him over the next few months. What does the election mean for the Democrats? What's Tricia Zunker going to do? Is she going to do the same thing Jason Church did? Is she going to disappear now? It was interesting. I watched the headlines last night, and Tricia didn't return calls from the media. She posted a short video online, and as far as I saw this morning, she hasn't had any official response or congratulations to Tom, Tiffany, or anything of that nature. Now, it could be wrong. If you know better, please comment, in the section below, and let me know where the link is, and be more than happy to see that. But last night on the news, they were indicating that she wasn't responding. So kind of makes it interesting that the Democrats would have a candidate that isn't gearing up to just take this on and move forward and take it on in a strong way, and work with the media, and provide that positive message going forward. But we'll just have to see what it means. At some point, you've got to decide: is Tricia Zunker the right candidate for the Democrat Party? Do they need to put somebody else up? Who will that person be? Is there a stronger candidate, somebody that is more dynamic, and the voters will, lean towards? I think, again, as I have talked about yesterday, that you have this dichotomy between the right and the left, and everybody forgets the middle. And we need to look at the middle, and you've got to focus on providing a message that helps voters who are in the middle identify with you, and then you can pull more voters your way, and people will want to agree that there's always a difference. I mean, you're never going to have it perfect. You're never going to get a perfect message from the right. You're never going to get a perfect message from the left. And there's all of us in the middle that are kind of saying, yeah, I don't really think I agree with that, but I agree with something in between. So Democrats probably need to look at how the message is being carried by Zunker, and if she's leaning so far left that she's isolating or alienating voters that may be willing to vote for her because they don't like Tiffany's message, or they don't like Tiffany at all. And that's been proven time and time again, that there are a lot of voters that don't want to vote for Tiffany, but they'll simply do it because there's no other choice. Again, that's why this primary process is important. And currently, Tom doesn't have anybody that I'm aware of that's announced that they're going to run against him except myself in the primary. And with the current signature process the way it is, I doubt I'll be able to get enough signatures unless somebody shows up with a pile of them here in the next couple of weeks. And I predicted that back in April when I was communicating with the Wisconsin Elections Commission about what would be important to help candidates and make sure we have a good, strong primary. And that's something that I've talked about a lot. And for me, 2 candidates in a primary are not enough. I mean, I don't think we need 10 or 15, but I think 3 to 5 candidates in a primary provides a global message that voters can truly decide which candidate is presenting the best message, and giving them the choice to cast their vote for somebody they believe is the best candidate. One person in a primary is not a primary. I mean, it just means that people are feeling that there's no way they can compete, and that's not good. And we need to continue to promote that in our process, and that we need to help people who are disadvantaged in the process and bring them into the fold and get them up in there to make the primary as strong as possible. So those are things I'm going to work on over the next 100 days. So back to, is it just me? If we're going to make decisions about data and science, am I the only one thinking the data and science is just not right? Just, something to think about. Food for thought. We need to support the dissenters. We continue to see videos with dissenting views, and they're being pulled from the internet, and they're being censored. And opposing views are being treated as if you're doing something wrong, which is not the case at all. It's our responsibility to question what we're being given and make sure that what we're being told is accurate and not driven by some other agenda. And on that note, I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for joining me. And again, subscribe if you're new, like the video, and share the video. And we'll see you tomorrow.